Oh, tell me, weren't they? Hi, guys.
Hi, I'm Brett. Brett, I'm Matt. Pleased to meet you.
Hey, how you going?
Here we are in the eastern part of Bangor, and we've got some sheep in the paddock here, which we're going to go and get.
Whoa.
And they'll help answer Joe's question.
Cool. Thanks.
We'll send Dusty around, and hopefully she'll collect them up. Dusty, go right back. So who's going to drench? Joe?
I'll drench.
Righto. Have you drenched before?
Seen drenching before.
You're right then. Lean on him, lean on him, lean on him.
Why do we drench sheep?
They're picking up worms all the time.
Good job, Joe.
It can get to a point where it's a worm burden that's unhealthy for them.
That was better. So, Matt, my question's around the way we eat meat. I feel like meat is a huge part of our diets and, in fact, it's a huge part of our culture. Do you think if we paid a little bit more for it and maybe ate a bit less of it, that would alleviate some of the pressures on our farmers to produce so much and will allow you to, I guess, focus on farming in more regenerative ways and ways that which enhance the well-being of the animal themselves?
Sure. That's a good question, Joe. If people wanted to pay more for meat, then that'd be fantastic. But the way we look at it here is we've got a resource and we assess how much we can produce, and we assess that by measuring how our animals are doing and our animal health, because an animal that's in good condition is a more profitable animal. So there's no benefit to us in jamming more on than what we can keep in good condition.
Hearing from Matt that we aren't producing beyond our land's capacity was a surprise for me.
There's a lot of landscape that is best suited to running animals. When I look at our farm down the bottom here, completely unsuitable for cropping. Most of it, in fact, in terms of the pasture areas, they're really well suited to raising livestock. Yep. In you come. Looks like a pretty good catch.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Now I'm stuck in here at the shed.
People talk about emissions, carbon emissions from sheep and cattle. So part of the way we address that is to try and grow them quickly.
37.
37.2. Move them wherever the best paddock is.
So that there's less inputs that go into actually growing that land.
How did you do it?
Yeah, that's it.
Like that.
Which, in a way, makes it a lot more sustainable for the farmer and the landscape.
So this is our poppy crop, which are grown for medicinal opiates. So it goes to make painkillers. And this goes something toward your question, Brett.
My question is around maximising the return on the land and ensuring sustainability at the same time. So how does this poppy crop help you do that?
This is like a really high value crop, hoping that we'll get a decent return. And by intensifying those parts of the farm, it allows us to operate other parts of the farm less intensively. We can manage them for conservation purposes or just light grazing. So after these poppies come out, we'll sow a pasture. It allows the organic carbon to build back up in the soil. So meat production actually fits in really well into a system like this.
What Matt's been able to show me is that you're minimising that impact of fertiliser and herbicide on the land, and that's all about sustainability as well.
This is the dam we've built to supply water for our irrigated enterprises. It's fed out of the forest, so it's good, clean water. So
Can we taste it?
Go for it.
It's really nice water.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So the other part about water is the runoff from here. Our farm is surrounded by water. What happens here on the farm affects industries like oyster farming. So by fencing off waterways along creek lines that run into the bay, vegetation acts as a filter. That strip of vegetation can catch any nutrients, keep them on the farm where we want them. Only 15% of Bangor is clear sown pasture, and the rest of the 85% is native grasslands or forests like this that we can graze lightly but mostly manage for conservation values. You know, there's great habitats here for a whole range of native animals and birds and plants.
Those Tassie devils you told us about.
Yeah.
I was intrigued by the idea of Bangor Farm having native reserves. It's just something that was so different to me.
Beck, you're interested in how we maintain the health of the land that we have here. One of the activities we do is weed control. There's one that grows in areas like this called horehound. They hook into sheep's wool, and it's just a matter of walking along and we just chip the plants out.
Okay, let me at them.
The other way we can help control it is with our animals. Sheep will eat this. Great job. So for a smaller plant like this is managed when we let the sheep in and out. So the combination of the hoeing, the monitoring, the fencing, the careful grazing, the animals in and out can help us get on top of the weed problem. What I wanted to show you guys here was the way we use fencing for erosion control. There's different types of soil across the farm. This particular soil, the clay here, erodes really easily. So to manage that, this area is fenced off completely from stock, and that allows much trees and grass to grow in here as possible, so the plant roots will hold that together.
Well, Matt explained that he's really broken his property up into lots of smaller paddocks and segmented it into different soil types, what weeds grow in different places, so that he can manage them without over-relying on things like herbicides. And sometimes you do have to go in and manually hoe the weeds out. Hello, Dusty. Good girl.
I think something like the Target 100 campaign really allows farmers to share their story so people know where their food comes from.
It's interesting to come and
Fascinating.
see how it happens. Yeah.